I'm just documenting this dream that I had. I've just had to sit with it for a bit because it's emotionally overwhelming, and it's probably just because I was talking about her before I went to sleep. But I had a dream that I was swimming in the ocean, and the water was so clear you could see everything underneath, and I wasn't afraid. And usually I would be, because I've had a fear of oceans my whole life, probably because of Jaws, but I think it's a past life thing, but I won't go into that here because that's not what this is about. I will, on my radio show, I will do like a whole thing about past lives and that, because I want to invite callers in to send me photos of their palms, and I want to do on-air palm readings. And my palm readings, I start with your past lives, and I read your past lives in your wrists. So, that is something that I will be discussing, but that's for my radio show. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking because I've got a lot of shows to do and a lot of people to bring in. And anyway, I was swimming in the water. It was so beautiful. The water was so warm, and I wasn't afraid. It was like, I'm a water sign, so I love the water, but usually for me, oceans are not something I'm comfortable with, though I am called to it every single minute of the day at the moment. But I think now I know why. And I was kind of moving about, sort of like a dolphin. I was like breaching up and out of the water and stuff like that, and flipping about and, spinning. And I was just really happy. And out of nowhere, this whale came up under me and carried me. And it was just like, how do I explain it? Like I'd been plugged in to source. I'm getting emotional. When I lived in Sydney, in Australia, when I was 17, I was getting ready to join my family in Perth, Western Australia. I had just been assaulted, and I wasn't sticking around. So I'd had a dream that I was swimming with two whales, and I was like the baby whale. And when I turned up back at my parents' place in Perth in Western Australia, on the wall there was a picture of like two whales and a baby whale. And this is what this was. It was like I was in that picture. I was the baby whale in that picture, which means that was my mum and dad. Sorry. Whales in dreams represent like the heavenly mother and father, the divine mother and father. They represent the Akashic records, and the recorders of time and history. They are the symbol of wisdom and grace and beauty and patience and family and, matriarchy and all of that. So, you know, when you have a dream about whales like that, it's a really big hug from. It's like all your ancestors coming together to embrace you. And then we were swimming, and the whale sort of turned, and I started falling off. And I was scared because I was thinking, like, it was it was a long fall for me, and I was thinking, like, I thought, like, I was in trouble, or were there sharks in the water? Like, I was terrified. And just as I was about to hit the water, this giant sea turtle caught me on her back and took me the rest of the way to the land. And I knew immediately who that was, because there's only one person that I think of immediately when I see sea turtle, and that's Abuela. The Abuela that I've been seeing in dreams for a few years. I had a dream where I was walking through the forest following these drums, and this man that looked like Eric Estrada came out and took me to this woman who was sitting on a chair, and they were surrounded by baskets, and on the baskets were these, like, animals, like they were, making baskets to sell them to tourists and stuff. And in the dream, I think in the dream I started on the beach. So maybe this is the rest of the dream, how I got to the beach. It's on my Instagram. It is there. And it was pure white sand. It was tropical, the greenest. Funnily enough, in my culture, my indigenous culture, I'm from the Ngāti Raukawa tribe, and the Raukawa tree, Raukawa basically means like rich green leaves, because the Raukawa tree, it's an aromatic leaf that my people used as a fragranced oil for, like, healing and rituals and stuff, and it's known for its dark, rich, its vibrant, dark, rich, royal green sort of colour. And these palm trees and all of that, these tropical trees were like the same colour, Raukawa green. And I turned around and I looked at the sea turtle, and she lifted her head up, and she said to me in Spanish, Ven A Casa Ahora. I hope I pronounced that right. Ven A Casa Ahora. I knew casa meant home. And so I looked it up. Ven A Casa Ahora. And it means come home now. I said to her, I'm trying. I just love that woman with all my heart. Like the grandmother tree. Yeah, so That was my dream. It was the same tropical island that I was on where I was trying to figure out how to get off it, I think. And I was stepping on all the animals. They were carrying me up off the island and up into a cloud where I saw what was eventually going to become the Art of Creation Foundation. But yeah, so because I'm getting back into dreams, I want to get back into dreams because I want to interpret people's dreams and that. So, um, start with my own. Sea turtles. Turtles mean the same thing as whales, but it usually represents like other people's ancestors and their connection to you. So it was like my ancestors and Abuela's ancestors coming together in order to give me this message that it's time to go home. I just don't know where home is yet. I'm guessing it's Montana. Um, Although at one point I did think it was Massachusetts. But having said that, I was talking to my boys the other day saying that if my store at the foundation does well, I want to open a second store in Salem because I had a dream where I was told that I needed to put one in Salem because it needed to be, there were things in history that needed to be corrected, and Salem was going to be the place to do it. Um, my ghost zombie dream. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see me recording, documenting. I call it my ghost zombie dream. And I was told then that I was to open one there because it was going to do a lot to recorrect some history for people who were executed for being witches. And that's one of the things as an occult scientist I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach people the right way, the truth about the occult, so that they can re-identify the way they look at what a witch was, because the witches that we know today are not true to the witches that actually were the real witches. And so I'm trying to use etymology and all of that to explain the origins of these words and what they really mean, and trying to break it down in ways that people will understand it, so that they can separate the elemental witches from the black magic witches, because they're two completely different things. Elemental witches were very religious. They had very deep faiths in gods and that sort of thing. And even right up until the Victorian era, when black magic started becoming like profitable and all that, with like Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey and all that sort of thing. Elementals were mostly Catholics and Christians and all that sort of thing, but it was pushed underground because of the church. It became a sin to be what they were, and all they were, like here in the northern area of England, they were called cunning men and cunning women. And the word cunning, it means like strategic and like clever and calculated and structured and orderly and smart and clever and wise, just like the word witch does, of intelligence or from intelligence or wise. And the word wick, WICCE, means ancient wisdom or knowledge of the ancients, like it being taught by the ancestors, handed down from generation to generation of wisdom. So, so I'm trying to teach people the truth. And so with my animated series, the Art of Creation, that's involving storylines for all religions and all countries and all beliefs and all creeds and all indigenes and all gods and all mythologies and all of it. It's going to be educational without people even realizing that they're learning, because the way that we've been writing it, it's funny, like Rick and Morty and that, but it's funny and it's real. So yeah, I want to have voice actors from all over the world to do the voices of their their gods and their deities and their mythological fairy tale creatures and main characters and all of that. I can't wait. It's so exciting. So um, opening a store in Salem, if the one in Montana does well, then I'll open one in Salem, because Salem's going to be more expensive to open and run. Yeah, Massachusetts is beautiful. Salem's beautiful. I would have moved to Salem in a heartbeat. But yeah, the my friend is going to run my HR department. She's in Massachusetts, so I said to the boys, it's probably more than likely that when we get to America, we'll land in Boston anyway. So we'll go and see you, and I'll take them up to Cape Cod so that they can go and see where the Mayflower came in. So yeah, and then I can make shows all up and over. Well, I say shows, but oh yeah, God, look, I went back to the eye in the sky show mindset. I want to go around, go to places like Sleepy Hollow and that in New York, and go to Salem and do my cleansing rituals, take my clays and sprays, and yeah, because there's a lot of dark history there, unfortunately, for witches and Indigenous people, and I want to take care of it. Anything to do with like slaves, pirates, the Underground Railway, witch trials, Indigenous people, battles, that sort of thing. I'm on it. So my boys and I will be driving around, and I said to my friend, you can chuck your kids in your camper and come and join us if you want. So we'll just get like a big RV and drive around, because I need to find where it is that we're supposed to go. So um, I've got to drive around. It might not be Montana, I don't know. I'll know it when I see it, though. I'll know it when I see it, and I'm just following my dreams. And yeah, so while we're there, I'll be able to take my sprays and clays and go to all the places on my list that I said that I was going to do for my show. But I probably won't be doing any of it on camera, just because I'm concerned about people trying to copy what I do and getting it wrong and making it worse. So, with great power comes great responsibility. But you never know, I might do. Because I was thinking of turning it into like a little reality TV show where, it was basically me and my little crew in our camper vans touring around America, making these shows where I go to all the places on my list with my clays and sprays and doing what I do and turning it into like a little series for my website. But again, I'm just concerned about people trying to copy what I'm doing. The only way I would be happy with people copying what I'm doing is if they took classes directly from me, which was something else I was thinking of doing. Was like when I'm traveling around America and Canada, and when it's safe, Central and South America, um, offering workshops where I'd give talks and, you know, teach tarot readers how to do it properly and, you know, offer classes so that they can make and find and make their talismans and um, do these cleansings and that with my clays and sprays. So they would have to purchase everything from me, but it would be all done correctly, and then they can go out and do their own cleansings and that because I would have shown them how to do it. So I was thinking of, you know, maybe starting that as like a little business and then having my radio show and starting from there, and in the background making The Harvest my movie, and getting the Quantum Menace started, the video game, and, you know, setting up the comic book program and all of that. So yeah, so this is probably what the dream meant. Actually, I'm just realizing, come home now. Ven A Casa Ahora. Like, go back to where it was supposed to start, maybe, or go back to the beginning, like rewind, go back to the beginning. So yeah, I had to record it. Sorry, I got emotional. It's just that I have so much. If you had these kind of dreams, you'd understand. For an Indigenous person, a dream like that is basically like God has just given you a kiss and said, "You're perfect. You're beautiful. You're balanced. You're, you know." And I'm not saying that I'm perfect or beautiful. Do you know what I mean? It's like you know, when the father or the mother holds their baby for the first time and all they see is pure love. I always say that there is no closer love that a human can experience to the love of God's love than when the parent looks into the eyes of their child. It's that kind of love, and that's the love that I felt. So I'm going to sit with that now and try to figure out where home is. But I'll know it when I see it, and clearly it's time for me to start putting my antenna up and going boop, 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 to find where this north is. Like, where do I start? It's like everything's starting to, it's like the universe is starting to drop everything in place. They're letting me know that I'm about to meet my protector and, you know, the last, the one, the only. And that I'm about to go home, wherever that is. Which reminds me of my rabbits, vampires and lambs dream. Because when I got out of the car and walked into the hotel and all those people were standing there with the Quantum Menace movie promotion, video game promotion posters and that, there was a man with olive skin who came rushing over to me and he said, "Welcome home." And in the dream I said it looked like New York or Boston. So the plane must land in Boston. So, you know, we must be going to America. Like, it must be my dream is about to manifest. The prophecy is about to come true. It is already starting to come true. So, anyway, just thought I'd share.